So this video is for brow and lash tint. And so we're gonna start our videos as we always do when we first arrive to work. So when we arrive to work, we have to wash our hands. So we're gonna wet our hands at the sink. And then we are gonna find that coin size of liquid hand soap. We're gonna rub our hands together down to our wrist. We're gonna wash the back of our hands down to our wrist. We're gonna wash our fingers. We're gonna wash the backs of our fingers. We're gonna wash our fingertips and nails between our fingers. Between our fingers and our thumbs. We're gonna wash our thumbs. We are gonna wash our wrists. And we're gonna do all of that cleansing for a minimum of 20 to 30 seconds. Then we'll rinse everything underneath the running water at the sink. And once it's properly rinsed, we're gonna get either a clean towel or disposable paper towels, turn the faucet off, completely dry our hands, toss the disposable paper towels, or a clean towel would go into the to be laundered closed container. And once we've done that, we are going to get our 70% ethyl alcohol hand sanitizer to finish our hand wash up. And then for our client that's coming, we have to prepare our workstation, get everything ready as much as we can before they get here. So let's talk about what we need to do to get ready for the room. So we're gonna disinfect our workstation, bed, and equipment using a disinfectant wipe. We're gonna follow manufacturer's instructions. We'll check our equipment to ensure all devices are in safe working order and plugged into a working receptacle. We'll gather clean supplies we need for the lash and brow tint service, storing in a clean closed container. We'll dispense products that we need for the service according to the client's desired shade for brows and lashes. And we will mix according to manufacturer's directions, but we're actually gonna mix when our client has their eye makeup, remover pads on their eyes. But we're gonna get everything else ready ahead of time. We will prepare disposable portion cups for each product for the portion of the product by opening the top of the container and ensuring the tip of the nozzle does not come into contact with the disposable portion cup tray, or remove the product with a disinfected or clean single-use spatula. We'll close the lid to the product and set the portion cup or tray on the tray. We'll drape our facial bed using one fitted sheet, one flat sheet, and 3 towels. We'll place clean laundered sheets down on the disinfected facial bed, placing a towel horizontally at the head of the bed. We will lay a hairnet and headband on top of the first towel, along with a rolled towel to support the head and neck of the client. We'll save the 3rd towel to lay across the client's décolleté. Or you can use disposable table paper to drape the bed if you choose to do that. So we have to greet our client, but before we do that, we're gonna go over everything we have on our tray, and then we'll move forward. So we've got our tray ready for our service. We have gloves because we do this service with gloves. I always have a little water and some 4 squares. We might not need that. We have our iPads. We've got our cotton rounds, makeup remover. We have different shades of our cream color and then developer. We have disposable wooden tipped Q-tips, and we've got some gauze squares just in case we need that. We have our Vaseline type product that goes underneath the eyes and around the brow to protect. This is trash. That was a single-use applicator that we scooped out with. So we are ready to go with our tray set up, but we do need to do our client consultation. So just a side note, when you go and meet and greet your client, you are going to make sure that your hands are completely clean. So just having that in mind, working with the cleanest hands, we're gonna go meet our client and do our client consultation. So we will greet our client and escort them to the work area, determine the client's preferences, and assess the client's needs and style. We'll assess the client's skin by performing a visual skin analysis to ensure that there is no inflamed, infected, broken, raised, or swollen skin in the area to be worked on, or an open wound or sore in the area to be worked on, infection or infestation, for example, lice, to prevent from safely performing the service. We will assess the client's consultation form for any medications and products used within the last 72 hours. We'll consult on any known allergies. We will consult with client on any facial surgeries within the last 3 months and if the client's under a physician's care. We'll assess if the client is prone to cold sores or fever blisters. We'll assess if the client has used exfoliating or lightening agents within the last 72 hours, like alpha hydroxy acids, beta hydroxy acids, hydroquinone, etc. We'll assess facial injections within the last 3 weeks, like Botox or hyaluronic fillers. If the client is free from any of those contraindications, you can move forward with the procedure or service, which our girl is absolutely fine. So we are going to get her set up and situated. So she doesn't need to disrobe for the service. She just would come to the facial bed. I've already got the towel set up for her, but we want to make her comfortable. So we've got the rolled towel here we're going to place under her neck. And we have the headband here that's going to keep her hair back from her brows and her lashes. Keep her hair out of the way. And then we are also going to completely cover up if her clothing or décolleté or skin or anything that's showing, because we wouldn't want any tint to get on our client's clothing or person while we are working on her. And then it's important that before you even think about starting the service that you're going to wash your hands again. So we go to the sink, we wet our hands, we get that coin size of liquid hand soap, and we wash down to the wrists. We wash the back of the hands down to the wrist. We wash our fingers. We wash the back of our fingers. We wash our fingertips and nails. We wash between the fingers and the thumbs. We wash the thumbs. We wash our wrists. We wash all of that for a minimum of 20 to 30 seconds. Then we rinse thoroughly underneath the water. When you feel like you've got your proper rinse, find a clean towel or disposable paper towels. You're going to grab that, turn the faucet off with the towels, dry everything off. If it's disposable, throw it in the trash. If it's the clean towel, it goes into the laundry because it's now dirty. You get your hand sanitizer, 70% ethyl alcohol, and you sanitize your hands. And we're going to make sure that we get them nice and dry, because we want to make sure we do that in order to have them dry before we put on our gloves, because we're going to work now from this point on with gloves on, so you don't want to try to put gloves on wet hands. It's a struggle. Okay. So now we need to mix her tint, but we're going to do that while she has her eye makeup remover pads on her eyes. So we're going to go ahead and get these pads set up for her eyes, because the first thing you're going to do is take off her makeup. So let's put her makeup pads on her eyes. And she decided that she was going for a dark brown. So you have to know your formula based on your manufacturer's product line. And so we're going to say for 3/4 of an inch of color cream, we are going to apply 2 to 4 drops of our developer. So we've gone to say 1, 2, 3, 4, and we are going to do a mix. Mix, mix, mix. And we're going to mix it up, and it will process for that 3 to 4 minutes while we're taking off her makeup. So we've got all that mixed up, and we're going to let it process. So going over here, we're going to start actually removing her brow makeup first while those eye pads are on there. So we are going to make sure that we do a good job of removing any makeup that's on the brow. and anything that's surrounding it, but we want to get all that brow hair makeup off. We don't want anything left on the brow hair. So I'm going within the direction of the hair growth, and I'm also going back. So if there's any moisturizer, foundation, eye cream, brow gel or powder, anything like that, you're just taking your time to get it off. And I'm just moving over here to the other brow and repeating. If you need to do it a couple of times, you can. Just feel like you do what you need to do to get it all off. And then I'm going to move forward to the eyes. And once again, this may take a couple passes or a couple times based on the client and the amount of makeup that they wear. Some people are a little bit more glamorous, like a little bit more than others. So you just want to make sure that you get it all off. Just taking your time, do what you got to do. And this is a little wet, so I'm just going to make sure it's all dry before we get to the next phase. So what we're going to do now is we're going to apply that protective ointment before we put the eye pads on, underneath and then around the brow as well. So we're just protecting that skin that would be around the eye area. And then we're going to do that around the brow as well. And then we're going to place our eye pads on our client. And we are going to be tinting lower lashes and upper lashes. So this iPad is going to go up underneath the lower lashes. So you may have to have her look up, and then you get as close as you can. And then, of course, we are going to make sure that we do the both lowers first, because once your lower lashes are tinted and her eyes are closed, or once you have her close her eyes when we start tinting, there's no reopening. So it's critical that we do both, because if you do one side and have her close, she won't be able to open her eyes again. And the other side will not be able to be tinted, which would be silly to have one side done and not, it would look awful. So make sure you don't forget that. So the iPad, once again, is going underneath the lower lashes. And I just tell my client, okay, Sue, we are going to do your lower lashes first really quickly, and then you're going to close your eyes, and your eyes are going to be remain closed for the rest of the service. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and knock that out. So now your tint has had that time to process, and I'm going to have her look up, and then I'm going to say, let's do these low lashes really quick. So here we go. Swoosh, 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 swoosh. On the lower, other side, look up. Swoosh, 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 swoosh. Okay, close your eyes. The eyes are going to remain closed for the rest of the service. Now I'm going to start tinting the lashes on the top of the lashes. I mean on the upper lashes for the rest. So the bottom lashes have their tint on. So now I'm going to apply the tint. And I'm careful, of course, not to get anything in the eye area. In the eye, I'm going to try not to get it on her skin. I'm going to try to evenly coat it. Then I'm going to go over to the other eye. And then all of this you do for a timed amount of time. So lashes, you would be following manufacturer's instructions, of course. So we're going to say for this, it's 10 minutes. So you're going to set your timer now for 10 minutes. So I'm setting my timer. Because we're doing a video, we're obviously not going to sit here for 10 minutes. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to give it another little comb through here, and we'll pretend like that 10-minute timer is up, and we'll go through the process of what happens next. So you can continue while the 10 minutes is going on if you want to apply a little bit more tint, if you see an area that you think needs it, if you want to just comb through them. like whatever it is that to make sure they're thoroughly coated you want to do, you can. Just once again, be careful of the eyes. Excuse me, so sorry. Excuse me. And then we're going to pretend like our 10-minute timer has just gone off. So when your timer goes off, you're going to be removing your lash tint. So we're just going to be getting some remover, and we're going to be really gentle because we do not want to get this in her eye or anything else. And it's up to you if you want to start with that eye pad on and remove that way, and then as you're removing you can slide that eye pad out of the way and then and you would throw that away, keep doing your remove because you've got to get the lower lashes, and then you also want to get that ointment off of her underneath the eye. And if it takes a couple times, just you want to be really gentle. Just do what you need to do to get it off. And I'll do the other side, and then I'll dry everything off. So as you start, when the iPad comes off, you just toss it. And carefully get that tin off. And then I'm going to dry everything off, the lashes off. Just making sure we've got it all. Now our brows are ready to go. So we are going to let her rest with her eyes, just have her keep her eyes closed, and we are going to put the tint on the brow. And I'm first going to apply it in the direction of the hair growth. And then I'll also be going back against that direction so I really get it over all the brow hairs, so that I'm really coating it in there, and then it covers everything up really nicely. And I, of course, have 2 brows to do. So I'm going to go over here to the other brow, starting in the direction of the hair growth. and then working my way back against the direction of the hair growth, so that once again it gets all over those brows. So once again, you would be following manufacturer's instructions on how long you would leave on the brow tint. And so we're going to say that it's 3 minutes for this particular product. And so we're not going to sit here for 3 minutes. We are just going to pretend like that time has elapsed so that we can move forward. So at this point, you're going to get your remover and you're going to be very, very gentle. And once again, avoiding that eye area. Don't want anything to get in her eye. So take your time as you are removing the brow tint. And once again, you can start in the direction of the hair growth. And you may find with this too that you have to do multiple removes to get all of it off. And then you can go back against the direction of the hair growth so that you're just getting any tint that is on the skin there and underneath and extra. You're just avoiding the eye. Being really, really gentle. Just having her keep her eyes closed. And then you're going to move on to the next eye. We might have to come back. We know how we're starting, and we're being super gentle to not get anything in the eyes. And then against the hair growth. And then we're just going to dry everything off. Make sure it's really nice and dry. And she looks awesome. So we will now present to the client. Obviously, look how good your brows and lashes look, and she's just absolutely in love with it all because it really does look amazing. So she's definitely going to be a regular client on the tinting. So because she didn't have to disrobe, you can take off her headband, take off her extra drape, and let her get comfortable, get up. You would remove your disposable gloves at this point and throw them away. And then you would escort her out to go over any follow-up or aftercare needs that she might have. You'll get her checked out. You'll get her next appointment booked because you know she's going to want one. And once she's set, good to go, you have to get back to your room because you have a bunch of appointments today that you've got to take care of. So when you get back to your room, the first thing you're going to do is throw away any single-use items. So discard any single-use items that are on that tray or in the room. You would, if you used or needed any implements, you would take those implements and put them in a closed container labeled to be disinfected. You would get all that laundry that you have there from the towels and the headband, everything, and put it in a container that's also closed that you'll do laundry later. And then you are going to find a cleansing product. Cleansing agent and read the manufacturer's direction. Follow the manufacturer's directions for mixing and usage. Wipe your workstation and area with a cleaning solution to remove debris. Then you're going to identify a disinfectant that is bactericidal, virucidal, fungicidal, EPA approved for use in a salon setting, which means you would have to put gloves back on. So you're going to put your gloves back on, follow manufacturer's directions for mixing and or using appropriate aerosol disinfectant. Then you'll disinfect electrical equipment, store it in a clean area separate from the other implements, and you are then going to remove your gloves, throw them in the trash, and it's time to do your final hand wash. Wet your hands at the sink, get that coin size of liquid hand soap, wash those palms together down to the wrist. You're going to wash the back of the hands to the wrist, fingers, back of the fingers, fingertips and nails, between the fingers and the thumbs. You're going to wash your thumbs. You're going to wash your wrists, and you're going to do all of that for a minimum of 20 to 30 seconds. Then you can thoroughly rinse under the water, running water. Once it's properly rinsed, get a disposable paper towels or a clean towel. Turn the faucet off, dry everything off. Toss those paper towels if you use paper towels. Grab your 70% ethyl alcohol hand sanitizer. Then you're going to sanitize your hands, and then you will be ready to get your station set up for your next client. So that concludes your brow and lash tint video.